Okay, so in this video we will create the next section, which will be like the benefit section. I'll click on add section. Before I jump into doing that, let's explore the layout a little bit. So it looks like we can break this into three pieces. So first row can have just the content, the second can have all the bullet points, and then the third row can have just the image in the middle. But notice how the image is touching the bottom here, and there is some space up top. And how would you go about creating this? So let's jump into it. I'll click on add section, or actually I need to, there, I actually closed it accidentally. So once I add it, I'll just make a single column row, just like that. Then we'll give it a name, benefit. And let's go to the spacing of this, and we'll remove all sorts of margin or padding that it may have, so that it's completely blank. And then we'll add the gray background color to it. I already have that in my clipboard. And so now we have that same look and feel. Now let's add in the first one we want to add an icon, and underneath it we want to add some text. So I'll just drag out the icon element, and then underneath it I can drag out the text element. Just quickly update the copy. I'll speed up this process so we can get to the meat of the layout design. And I'll click on the icon. I know what icon I want. It'll be in the Themify gallery. I'll pick the settings icon, which should be around here somewhere. I can also use the search. Oh, there it is. Okay, there. And we'll change the size of it to make it small. I think this looks decent. Yeah, it's a bit bigger, so we'll make it there. I think that looks nice. What I'll do is I'll add super large padding around the icon, and I'll change the color to a green. There, okay. Now I'll kind of add some more spacing between the content. I just want to make sure that I match it one-to-one with the layout. See how it has some spacing around it. And now one thing I want to do is I'll shift click on the column, and what I want to do is I want to make it smaller, maybe about that size, and then align it in the center so it looks very much like what we have in the design. If we look at it, see how it's kind of narrow, it's not completely wide, so this kind of gives us that look. And I'll add the next row. We'll make it a 3-column row. Idea is to drop the icon and the text that we need. I'll change the icon's size. I think that looks about right. Yeah. And then I think this one is the ticket icon, so I can just search for it. And sometimes it's easier to just type in the term, so I'll just type ticket, and there it is. At the end, I'll change the color of it to gray. I think it's still too dark. If you look at it, this one's a little lighter, so I'll just add a new gray, and I'll just pick a gray that looks light enough. I think this looks fine. I'll also align it to the left so that it looks very much like what we want it to look like. Then I'll add text underneath it, and I always like doing this when I'm doing multiple columns and I want all of them to look the same. I create one, and once I have it done and I have it perfected for mobile responsiveness and everything, I can go about duplicating it over and over again. So I'll do that. Underneath this we'll add some more gibberish text for now. We'll add some spacing or color. looks a lot better. Add spacing between the two. Okay, that looks decent. I'll make the icon maybe a little bit larger. Yeah, that looks very close to what we want it to look like. I'll lighten the text up a little bit. And then I can just delete these other two columns. I know how I want it to look like, so I'll shift click and I'll just make sure that I also have the width of it full width, and then I can duplicate it a couple times so that I can quickly jump into each of them and change the contents. Now I'll speed up this process because we will be repeating a lot of what we already did. And now that I have all the three columns, let's add the new row and make it a single column, and we'll just drag out the image element, and I'll just add the blank app image that I have. And what I'll do is I'll remove all the spacing. So I'll remove that, and make sure that even the column that it's in has no spacing. So I'll remove any spacing that it has. Even the row, I'll try to, shift click on it and you'll get to the row also. I'll remove any spacing that the row, column, or the element produces to give it that very edge to edge look. Now it looks very close to what we intended it to look like. And I'll just go to each of the section and I'll see if I can add more margin around this column, if I add more spacing, and we'll match it with the layout also as we go. So I can remove all this unnecessary spacing that I created around the icon earlier, make it look really plush, and actually add the spacing to the column and the row, make it super large, and give it that same look and feel that we have in our layout, as you can see. So it looks very close to it. In fact, it looks identical at this point. So that kind of completes this part of the video where we created the entire look and feel, made it mobile responsive. If you look at it, it looks really nice on a mobile device also. I'll make the image a little bit bigger, not a whole lot, but I think this looks decent, and even on a desktop it doesn't look too bad. So we can reduce it maybe a little bit, but I think it's fine. The bigger the image, the more visual appeal it has. So there we have it.